I know James Bradberry has been the name that has been popping up. I know y'all were dropping his name in there on Monday. Seeing in comments after the show, people still dropping his name in there. So we said, you know what, man, let's address this situation because we wanted to talk about it anyways. Play. Yes, we did. But just looking at our depth chart right now, the quarterback room currently sits with what? Kello Witherspoon, Levi Wallace as the starters. You have Cam Sutton as well as that third corner nickel. Then from there, Justin Lane. Mixed bag with him, obviously high pedigree guy, but really hasn't materialized the way we want. Got James Pierre, who started out last year more as a hot player and then kind of cooled off. You know, the more he was out there, we get it. Then from there, man, Isaiah Johnson and Lyndon Stevens.
Who are they? I think we actually cut Isaiah Johnson. I think we cut him today. I think I saw a report.
Oh, might have been, you said today?
I think so.
Oh, well,
I don't know who he is, but I saw a Twitter report. I think we cut him.
Okay. Well, yeah, the Lyndon Stevens dude, he this is his second year in the league. He was in
Are we throwing Trey Norwood in that mix? And Marlette?
It was like Seattle, I think it was. Seattle and Miami. Yeah, he was in Seattle, Miami. But I don't know if he was on active down there though.
Okay.
Yeah.
We throwing Norwood and like Marlette in that mix?
Yes, I would throw Marlette in there, definitely.
But we're talking more outside corners.
Norwood is, I still view him as like the safety, Swiss Army knife type dude. But yeah.
We're talking outside corners either way.
That's what I'm thinking. Because I feel like we have a ton of inside corners. We have a ton of slots.
Yeah, we're fine.
And we feel very confident if Cam Sutton is our slot. We've seen Cam is a high-end slot corner. We think
we could do a combo of him and Marlette.
Absolutely.
Marlette
we
have better at run game.
Yeah, we have options there, man. Yeah. So you're right, man. We did cut him yesterday. Dang, dude.
I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, I was on ESPN.
We cut two guys. I never heard their names at all.
Come on, ESPN. You got to update the roster over here, man. Jeez Louise. Oh, they did. He's gone now. That was quick. God damn. Shout out to ESPN. I was like, let me just hit refresh real quick.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, hit refresh.
You had that up from like earlier in the day.
Yeah, he was gone. I literally just put it up this morning. I was like, or was it yesterday? And I left it up. It might have been that. It might have been yesterday. I left it up. But yeah, dude, I hadn't hit refresh. I was like, oh, now that name is no longer there. You're right. He is no longer with us. Hope all is well with him, though.
ESPN's on their P's and Q's.
They ain't slacking, man. Come on now.
All right, so the big question. You want to answer or you want me to?
Well, you know I like when you go first. No, okay. When you with your brother, who goes first?
Stop that.
Oh, y'all go at the same time? All right, I'm done. Enough.
So, this is complicated.
That's what maybe
at the same time, very simple.
All right, I like that too.
It's complicated because are we just using James Bradberry as an example? I'll use him as an example.
Go for it, player.
This. Okay, you sign him because he becomes automatically your cornerback number one.
Factamundo.
Would be the most proven commodity on your team.
Not even close.
I'd say he's still in the prime of his career.
I would strongly agree.
Going on 29.
Pro Bowl.
Yeah, Pro Bowl, always available.
Mm-hmm.
James Bradberry's top 10, top 15 cornerback in the league right now.
Man.
So he
man got two, man.
Yeah, he would be the number one corner on your team. And depending on the price, I don't think it's gonna be over double digits. Just basing it off the cornerback market in recent memory here, and also where we're at in the free agency period.
In context too, on his deal, he signed to New York 2 years ago, a 3 for $45 million deal. So he was getting 15 per. The Giants, in terms of their GM, when he talked about why they released him, it wasn't because of his play. It was more so their cap situation is bad. They still I think they're 7? They have like 6 million or 7 million clear, and they need to get to like 12 or 15 to sign all their draft picks and stuff as well. So they're doing like that fire sale situation right now, man.
And with our cap space right now, we could finagle it. I think we have 12 in cap space. 9 in effective cap space. Don't know what that means, but we can figure it out.
That's what it means. It means it's more effective. Just roll with it, bro. Just say it with confidence and they're going to believe you, man. It's more effective. Yeah.
So we can make it work. That's the obvious reason why you'd bring him in. But we have a guy on the roster who performed pretty damn well those last 6 weeks of the season. And if he keeps that up, I mean, he's in James Bradberry's category. For this season, if Kello Witherspoon plays how he did those last 6 weeks, all season, dude, no one made a pass on him, from what I remember. Had 3 picks.
That just seems so like abrupt of a leap. Like that man said, if he plays like this that he did for 6 weeks, he is Already in that category.
For the whole season.
I'm like, man, we've been seeing Bradberry been doing that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the plus of signing Bradberry. Yeah. But I could see how if you wouldn't want to bring him in, you really believe in Akello Witherspoon, you don't want to rock the boat. Mm-hmm. You don't want Melvin Ingram type situation going on like what we had last year, because I don't think 3-man rotations work at the cornerback position. And we're talking outside corners.
Okay.
Could we do Akello, Bradberry, and Levi Wallace rotating like that? Could one of them play slot, though?
I mean, technically, well, no, because, with Joe's over on one side. But I'm thinking with Pierre, when he started to struggle, you're right, they didn't rotate, and they just pulled him. And then he became like the fourth corner when we went to dime packages. Yeah, you're right. We ain't rotating them corners. At least you hope not. Yeah.
Yeah, all depends on how you look at it. So I believe Akello, if he's given the opportunity, he's going to step up.
Okay.
There's still no guarantees there.
Yeah.
How much would Bradberry signing here rock the boat? I think that's the main question. Because someone's going to be unhappy at some point, probably.
Yeah.
Whether it's Akello, Levi, whoever's not playing.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think, could any of them bump inside?
I wouldn't mind that. I mean, you got the 3 most talented corners on the team playing all at the same time, but I don't know if one needs to be...
But then you got Cam Sutton, though, because he's the other one who's going to get frustrated.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of mouths to feed in there, man. Yeah.
Okay, another thing to consider is just depth, and I think this is unrelated to James Bradberry. Mm-hmm. Outside of Akello and Levi Wallace, we don't have good outside corners.
Fair enough.
At least guys you can trust. James Pierre, Justin Lane. Unless...
Bro, you don't trust James Pierre all of a sudden now?
No. Dang. I've seen enough, dude.
Oh, man.
To get us out of a stadium, fine. But if one of them go down for an extended period of time, you don't want Justin Lane or Pierre.
You just turned so heartless toward James Pierre, man.
Lane found a magic mushroom this offseason. James Pierre, maybe he's been training on his island. I don't know. Unless one of those two figured it out.
Hey, yo, you are wild. I love it.
I think the answer in general, should we sign another cornerback? Yeah, as a guy is like a depth piece, specifically James Bradberry. I'm like, no, because why not? You bring in James Bradberry, that's awesome, and it's not like we're paying Akello or Levi Wallace copious amounts of money that would just make you disregard bringing in James Bradberry.
He's dropping four piece on him.
Yeah, that's not. I think that's what we paid Cam Sutton, right? 4 a year? Or was it 2 something a year?
Because he was 2 for 9 or something like that, right? Yeah, so he's in that category, yeah.
Actually, that's actually crazy to me. We're paying Akello and Levi Wallace less than Cam Sutton.
But I don't know how it was structured, because it was only a 2-year deal, so it could have been a little bit more in that first year. That's
maybe. Either way, it's close. So to bring in a guy like James Bradberry, it would definitely help the team. Definitely would. I just don't know how everyone would handle it. That's all. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think I would just say bring him in
for sure. Well, you bring up some good points right there, man. Number one, James Bradberry is a heck of a player. Tough as nails, competitive, a smart player as well, man. A true man-to-man guy that you put him on the number one receiver. You say, you go follow him. That's what he does. He competes. Great ball skills. He understands how to play through the hands. I think he had 4 picks this last season, 3 the year before that. So 7 picks in 2 years while with the Giants. Like I said, he checks a lot of those boxes, man. He was down in Carolina before that, was a very productive player there as well. Know a couple of guys that played with him, man, and, talk to them about him. They rave about him, man. Love, toughness, competitive, all that type of stuff as well, man. But I hear what you're saying with rocking the boat with the cornerbacks we have here. And in some cases, I like the concept of rocking the boat. In this one, I don't as much, because these guys, in terms of Levi and Akello, they just got paid. So that means that they are going to be here. Whereas when I think of like bringing in competition, I think of it in the sense of, okay, if I'm trying to see if I want to keep a guy or get a guy up out of here, or if there's no new money involved. So I don't have to feel negative about a guy not starting or not playing as much because, hey, I didn't pay him this year. I paid him a year ago. I paid him 2 years ago. In this sense, it's like, man, if I bring in James Bradberry, who's going to cost anywhere between 9 to 12, just thinking off the top of my head.
Maybe even less, but
it could be less, but like we know it's going to be more than 4. That's what I'm alluding to. So It's like, what does that look like when we pay him whatever that is? And now he's the guy out there, but we just told Akello, we just paid Levi, and it's like, oh man, you guys getting $4 million as well. Just be happy that you're getting the money. You're not going to be the starter though. You're not going to be the guy. Like, that could very well cause some issues.
For both of those dudes, this is a critical point in their career.
Right, absolutely. And the other competitive disadvantage that we have in terms of the Steelers in this situation is these guys aren't homegrown either. So when you talk about the mentality, when you talk about trying to convince people that, hey, man, it's less about you, more about the team, sometimes you got to take a back seat here. Like, it's hard when you're the new guy coming there. You're not trying to hear that if you're Levi Wallace. Hey, man, I know you just signed here. I know we just paid you. I know you want to be the guy, but take a back seat. Just support us. It's like, I don't think that moves the same way. And the same with Akello. Akello came here after, signing with Seattle last year. And that didn't work out for him. So we think about how it played out here at the beginning part and then the end part. He's not trying to go backwards. Not after signing that deal. So as much as I would love James Bradberry on this team.
So you actually do think it would rock the boat?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it would, man. And like I said, it just doesn't make sense money-wise when you gave both of those guys $4 million per year. You're paying these dudes to be out there. And even with Cam Sutton, it's like, man, Cam still has a nicer contract. You don't want him being the fourth guy just sitting out here either. So that's the biggest reason for me why I probably would not go James Bradberry, even though, man, he is a heck of a player. And I think that he would make this team better. I just think that the fit in terms of him with the other guys in the sense of they all trying to eat, they're all in that I got to get it mode. I just don't think it's going to mesh as well right now. If this was a year later, I think it's a different conversation. Yeah. If this was last year, I think it's a different conversation. But because we just paid both of these guys this offseason, I just don't see that. And are expecting them to be the starting outside corners. Yeah, I just don't see that part of it, man. But in terms of depth, though, I'm very interested in the depth conversation. But when I think of those guys, I still think of, man, like, because money-wise, I'm like, Joe Hayden still makes sense. But I don't think it's going to happen, bro.
Joe coming in and taking a backup role.
Yeah, I just don't see that. I really don't see that, man. And I wasn't too happy, even though I was like, it was like dope to see my dog putting his little video up. It's like, yo,
I didn't even see it. I heard people talking about it.
And it was like, it was dope, but I'm like, and now it's like real. So now I really don't think he's coming back. It's unfortunate.
Is it different if he goes to another team and takes on a backup role?
I think so, yes. It's hard to go from being the man to now being a backup here. That would have been like him in Cleveland going from being the guy to being a backup.
Udonis Haslem vibes. Then.
Yeah, bro. That's weird, bro.
Is he still playing?
No, he's still on the roster. Yes, he's still on the bench. Yes, and he dresses and he talks every time. But it's like, bro, it's just weird.
There's an opportunity for that for Joe Hayden. I think we would embrace him like that, though, right?
No,
we would.
No, Haslam is like 50. All right, Joe is looking over here like, Akello, I would use my backup last year. Levi, you won't even start. I'm nicer than you. Like, that's going to be that type of energy, bro. No. Haslam, like I said, he's 65 and a half. So when he shows up, actually he's 69 just for you. So when he shows up, it's like, bro, his knees bad. He can't run up and down the court. He ain't finna get up out there. So it's like, it's different.
He's seriously on the roster.
Yes.
Oh my.
Yes, dude. You see all that great? I'd be like, bro, you look like somebody's daddy. Somebody's daddy out here, bro. Yeah, man.
I guess it's a risk either way, whether you sign Bradberry or not, because if you don't sign him, you're just hoping Akello plays like he did those last 6 games. Yeah. And Levi Wallace kind of continues on his trajectory. There's no guarantees, but I think you're leaning more that that's going to be the case than not, but there's still a risk. And then the risk of signing him is just Melvin Ingram type of scenario, maybe even worse in terms of rocking the boat.
It could definitely
locker room
be that,
dysfunction.
Man.
Who knows?
Yeah, I think it would be worse than the Melvin. Just not in the sense of like when Melvin became publicly disgruntled, but I think it would be worse in the sense that when Melvin came here, the expectations were high for him, and he could feel good knowing that Highsmith hadn't gotten paid that offseason. Highsmith was still a young player on a rookie deal, so it's like money-wise, bro, I'm gonna make more money than you anyways. So if I am the starter, so what? I'm getting paid more. This scenario, you're like, yo, this dude's getting $4 million. That's not a rookie salary. That's not, $500,000. That's not $700,000. That's $4 million. It's just different when you're talking about trying to sit that on the sideline at that position. Not quarterback. Quarterback is very different just because we know what that looks like in terms of the money at that position. At corner, you're not sitting a guy that's getting paid $4 million if he's not hurt or playing terrible. But that's what you're going to introduce if you bring in a James Bradberry, man.
Yeah, and maybe we could take the money aside because those deals for Levi Wallace and Akello Witherspoon were huge values. Like we thought, at least with Witherspoon, we didn't really have Wallace on our radar, but we thought he was going to be in the 7, 8, 9, who knows, maybe even 10 if some team was willing to overpay. So that's how we view him, even like outside of that $4 million deal that he got anyway. That's just almost house money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess you give him the opportunity to step up.
Yeah. But he would, and like I said, man, James would definitely ball out, bro. But yeah, I'm interested in it. I want to see what Keller can do. I want to see what Levi can do in campsite, man. If we could find a depth piece, great. But I wouldn't go high end starter right now for me, man.
You want me to go off some of the names I looked up?
Man, go for it, man.
Well, Joe Hayden was one of them, I think. I have listed here. Now, some of, like Kyle Fuller, that might be too big of a name either.
I would agree.
Although he had a bad season with Denver, got benched. Mm-hmm. He's an all-pro in his own right. 30. Like, he's, I think at this stage in his career, a lower down from Bradberry, of course. But does that affect things? Would he be fine coming in for 20% of the snaps? I would doubt that,
bro.
He's unsigned, though.
I doubt that.
That would maybe be more similar to Melvin Ingram.
Yeah.
Because if he came in, lost his job with Denver, can't really find another market out there, he's just trying to sign on with the team, maybe get an opportunity in case injury.
We would have to sign him for less than what Levi and Kello have, though.
Yeah.
It'd have to be less than 4 per.
AJ Bouye? Same scenario, kind of.
Yeah.
It's tough.
He been awkward since he ain't been playing opposite of Ramsey, man. It's been a little weird for him, man.
True.
It has been, you know.
Vernon Hargreaves.
Ooh, now he's a good one.
He's been bounced around.
Right. I think he could be an interesting depth piece, though. That's what I'm saying. I think he'd be
first round talent. Yeah. Hasn't really caught on these last couple years.
As much. Yeah.
I even looked, like, because he was available. I think there were trade rumors or something about him last year being available, and he signed on with Cincinnati, but then didn't play at all.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, you could get him for cheap.
I think he's a depth piece, though. He could work.
Compete with Lane, maybe, Pierre. I don't know. It's a tough scenario because you could just get a dude that's a flyer, or you could get a guy that's, like, proven, but then how does that affect Witherspoon, Wallace?
For me,
dynamic?
man, I'm not going to lie. I kind of enjoy the Flyers on high pedigree guys, though. Like, when you talk about a Vernon Hargreaves,
that's what happened with
like
Kello.
that. Yeah, like, if it's a high pedigree guy or a very athletic, something intriguing about him, like, I want to take the Flyers on those guys. But, yeah, I would rather do that than pay for the more proven veteran in this situation.
At least just bring another guy.
Yeah, in this situation. Yeah.
Because that's really all we have. Justin Lane and Pierre.
And it's one thing to feel confident in them as starters, but when you ask yourself, because every year somebody does go down, if one of them were to go down, how confident would we feel with the group going forward? I think that changes everything for us.
All right, let me. Those were the names I wrote down, but I'll maybe list off a couple more for you. Trey Waynes.
Yeah, wasn't he in Cincy for a little while too, right?
Chris Harris, I don't really like that because he's
a slot though. Even though he says every time, and I play on the outside. Nah, you a slot, bruh.
Janoris Jenkins.
Who?
Janoris Jenkins, Jackrabbit Jenkins.
Oh, that guy. Thank you.
Kevin King, hell no. Xavier Rhodes.
X. He used to be a guy.
Right.
How much do you think he would cost, though? He's
not too much.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is he worth the Flyer? But would he also want to come in here and be a part of that role, too, though?
Exactly.
That's a different scenario for him as well, man. Excuse me.
No to Richard Sherman.
He about to do TV. He doing like the Amazon thing, right?
Is he?
Yeah, they said Amazon is in talks with him.